No, I didn't have the wrong audio streaming. Shut up. Good morning, Perth! I really should map that to a button so you don't know when my mouse moves to unmute myself. And welcome to Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 7, Monsters. That's the one. I haven't forgotten a title yet. Yes, the last of the catch-up live streams. Not the last of our daily live streams, actually. I guess that'll be tomorrow. But, listen to that. I only went and found it. The proper TNG Enterprise D engine hum. It's the same engine hum as last week, but with the warp core. Which, you know, this is how it's supposed to be. I've just been listening to this for the last, 15 minutes. But yeah, that's good setup music. Now all I need is an intermission screen. But yeah, we're gonna watch Monsters, which is interesting. If you don't know what's happening, we're going to do a watch-along of Monsters, Season 2, Episode 7 of Star Trek Picard. I can't stream the audio or video for it, so you're gonna want to go to Paramount Plus or like a DVD or something if you have it. Get that set up. Get past all the ads, whatever, to, before the episode starts. And this is just my little ramble while people get set up. What was I saying before? Oh yeah, this one's interesting. I'm actually going to get this up. I should really move that so it's not on the stream. The description for my YouTube video of, let me just turn this down a bit while I'm talking, of, this episode is actually like a full-on review. And as soon as I read it to get the tags and stuff, I remembered and I was like, oh. Cause my review for Monsters, you can hear that ad, was, oh no, a reviewer's worst nightmare. It was dull. Bad direction, which was meant to create a disorienting atmosphere, ended up just confusing the viewer to almost immediately have no idea what's going on. I remember that. Then general poor quality writing full of cliches and empty references for reference's sake fails to pull the audience back in. All the while, the episode is filled with "look how clever I am" moments from the writers that don't work because they aren't clever. That is harsh. That feels like the kind of thing I would avoid writing. This is why I gave up on Picard. It was going too far. At least that's basically what I told my partner when they asked why it was dull. That's interesting, because all of those things are measurable, and we can actually see how much I still agree with him. So the disorientation at the start, I remember this. Yes, that'll be easy. But we're looking for cliched writing, empty references for reference's sake. I think the uniform is actually one of them, the Deep Space Nine uniform. And look how clever I am moments that don't work. I know what I mean by that. Maybe you don't. But yeah, I'm also going to swap out my headphones because I think my Bluetooth headphones are dying. No, they are dying, and they keep breaking out on me, and I want to listen to the episode, so let's hope my streaming headphones work, and don't mess anything up. Good. They are plugged in. Are they noise canceling? Mode. Let's see. Well, for one, I can't actually hear anything. I also don't think they're noise canceling. Master volume. Yeah, what is it? What's happening? Oh, that's not mine. That's the Yeti. Dog's going crazy. Okay, we're going back to the breaking headphones. I bought, comment. It's okay. They're just headphones. You don't have to bark about it. I bought Gamer Girl headphones for streams and actually artistic and autistic videos, which Alex and I still haven't made, because I thought it would be funny, and I really like the idea, and I've had them for months, and I've never used them. I've never had the opportunity to use the Gamer Girl headphones that I bought for streams and videos. But anyway, I think that's probably enough preamble. Let's get rid of the engine hum. There we go. Getting rid of the engine hum. Now it's quiet, and all you're left with is the hum of my microphone. So, another drink. My voice is not used to these weekly live streams. Oh, I saw a second concurrent viewer. Welcome. You're just in time for the video speech. Oh, I do have to start recording as well. Whoops. Well, at least it'll be easy to find the start of the where the recording should cut in. For YouTube, what we are going to do is a watch-along of Season 2, Episode 7 of Picard, Monsters. We are going to do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And on go, we're all going to click play. And I will check this time, well, first, that I'm not streaming sound. Well, we're not going to have a repeat of last week, and I'm watching it at 1x speed, yes. So, on go, we're all going to click play, and then it's just going to be my voice. So this is going to be very boring if you don't have a copy of the episode in front of you. So without further ado, stream, this is your last time to say, wait a minute, I'm not ready. Which I suppose now I have to wait for 30 seconds so you actually hear that. But we're in the video space already, so it's too late. 5, 4... Okay, no, we'll time this properly. I'm looking at my countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And yep, I'm playing. We're all good. Monsters. I was about to say get ready for that disorienting opening we're gonna look out for, but yeah, I forgot previously on. Also, if my headphones do fail, I have subtitles on this week, so as a preparation, I still... Oh, wait, I do need to move my mic a bit. Hang on. I do have a contingency if somehow I just can't hear anymore. Hang on, I think my Gamer Girl headphones have like a cord, actually, if I could find that. Oh well, it's a bit late. This is the big episode though, where we learn like the vast majority of what was going on with Picard's mom. So, also to keep out, is Kid Picard French? Does he have a French accent? I've been thinking more and more how that explanation of why Picard has a British accent is actually really weird. Like, they lived in France for a while, presumably, and, like, his mom had a French accent. Presumably there were generations where, like, half the parents had a French accent. We also have to pay attention. Did his dad have a French accent? Because if he did, then, like, none of this will make sense. But weirdly enough, explaining Picard's British accent has made it make less and less sense, now that I'm thinking about it. I was about to say that sun looks small and fake. Oh, I thought it was a hologram on a desk. No, that sun looks like the scale isn't there in that sun. Oh wait, hey, I was right. Isn't this his dad, by the way? Which, that's not French. So what other confusion I was talking about, is right now, I don't know if this is actually happening, if this is actually happening in the past, if this is entirely in his brain. Like, the way they're both working together, the Deep Space Nine TNG era iconography and settings. Like, why is he in a Deep Space Nine uniform? That's, by the way, really shittily done. I think I mentioned before. That looks like a $20 thing I can buy online. Like, I can get that from Spirit. It's not even the right color. It's yeah, never mind. Hey, let's pay attention to the NX-01 in the background. Where is she? I know she's here. Good thing about... Oh, that line. I hate that line. Yeah, they do it as a sign of respect, because they all respect Jean-Luc Picard and the position he's in, what he's done to get in that position, and how he handles it. Like, they call him Captain as a sign of respect, not because they're distant from him and impersonal. But, yeah, one thing I loved about Picard, I don't know how the hell Picard managed to canonize the Columbia-class refit and the Enterprise F and not Lower Decks, but somehow it did. And here he's, like, why is this unorthodox if it's in his head? It just, as a viewer, I was spending so much time trying to figure out what was going on, and it was distracting me from the show. Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a station called Farpoint. Where's the Columbia-class refit? I don't actually know where it is. Oh, was that it on the desk? I can't frame by frame this. If you didn't know, there's a model of the Columbia-class refit of the Enterprise NX, and this is its first Alpha Canon debut, somewhere in this episode. I don't remember. Is there in the background? It's hard to... It probably is, but it's so hard to see. It is in the background, like, proper. I mean, well, I guess in the 24th century, that's probably... That could be optional, you know? That galaxy looks great. Also small, but great. I don't know why. Sometimes those CGI models of huge things, like stellarly large things, look small, and I don't know why. It's like in VR. If you ever seen a game where someone can like scale the world, if you watch a recording, the video doesn't change. But if you're in the headset, the scale is changing. It's the weirdest thing. Come on, kid, speak. Give me some French. Alright, that's the most British kid I've ever heard. Also, they're definitely painting Batman. I've seen The Next Generation. Oh, wait, she has. Wow. She watched Next Generation. Canon now. Batman. Or Black Panther, actually. I remember as well, I generally don't like the symbolic-y stuff like this, and I don't remember if, I think we get more concrete answers, but, like, how much of this was actually real? What actually happened in this vision we're getting? I never really like stuff like that, but also, that can add to the general, like, confusion and disorientation, like, this didn't actually happen. But, like, how much? Did they even actually pretend to be, like, Queen and Prince? Or, like, you know, and that a lot of that is going to be preference. But, I never really like the vague, symbolic-y junk. Really wondering what the third theme song's gonna be. It's just the season 1 Picard theme song and the TNG theme song simultaneously, just overlapping each other. Whichever one is whichever one's shorter, they have slowed down to be the same time as the longer one. So it's all just horrible. Or they've met in the middle. They've slowed down the slower one and they've sped up the faster one to meet right in the middle. I do find it funny, by the way, that this is like the only time YouTube has told me people are watching. I was gonna say, and there's 2 at that. Now it's 1, but this is also the first stream that no one said anything for, which is weird. Was 4:30 too early? We had 2 episodes to do today, and now there's 0. Well, you're all shy. Oh shoot! There's no one here. Hey, there's 2 again. Look, YouTube Studio's weird. No, I'll bring it up in the intermission. I won't distract from the video. Now you're gonna wonder, but just remind me, in the intermission, I had something to say. You'll probably be very underwhelmed. Now, I feel like it's hyped up now, you know? Legitimately, I just want you to check something, because I can't check it myself. So I'm pretty sure it was night in the last scene. They stayed here, like, you know, all night. That's fine. But that makes Girardi's line really weird. Like, they stood there for hours, and then Girardi was like, oh, what's going on there, JL? And then they all left. God, I wish you did. I've just had the horrible thought that Picard's 3rd season might have one of the TNG characters sacrifice themselves for Raffi. Like, it could happen. I've also just remembered how weird this relationship is. Like, in season 1, I think they held hands and they literally never interacted until that moment. It's kind of no wonder this relationship isn't really working out, but it's also really weird that, like, how into it they are, at least Raffi is. Like, have we ever actually seen these 2 in a relationship? I don't think we have. What are the parental controls? Is it so a parent inner, like, facing with their kid's mind, but not to show them all the dirty thoughts? Or is it, like, to shield you from all the horrific, like, porn that the other person's... They go, why would she need the parental controls off for this? I'm actually... This is... Can I have an episode about that? That is a nice tablet, by the way. I don't like the thought of Starfleet not employing non-telepathic psychiatrists. Like, maybe they just are never the best candidate, but that sounds like some sort of policy here. Even then, it's like, you think Starfleet might... It seems like the organization that would step in and be like, no, you gotta have, like, the shitty human counselor. So is Picard in a coma, imagining himself talking with his father psychiatrist remembering this imagination. I'm weirdly negative in this stream. This is what happens when no one else is here. Not weirdly negative. This is probably how I feel more about, the show in retrospect. Because, you know, I'm paying attention to the show more because there's no active chat. And, like, it really is death by 1,000 cuts and just an overarching, moral messaging that I'm very, very opposed to. Like, Picard is the death by 1,000 cuts. Discovery's second season is the just none of your things work. Like, it's sort of that's the distinction. So, like, was this bit real? Because it feels weird that she would say that in the first place. But, like, he's not exactly lost in his own cellar, you know? I also, so far, am agreeing with my old assessment that this is kind of dull. The one stream no one showed up to. But hey, episode 8 I don't think was dull. I was just dead at that point. Monster number 1 growling. That was the subtitle. Monster number 1 growling continues. I didn't know there was more than one monster, but now the deaf do. Where does... Oh, it's behind him, his coat. Oh my god, those are Eagle Moss K7 and oh my god, what's it? K7 in the Wrath of Khan station in the back left there. Those were just on the Eagle Moss stand, Eagle Moss model. I know that Eagle Moss was used a lot. Look, right there. Oh, is that the Columbia class? That's an NX. Eagle Moss on the Eagle Moss stand. That's amazing. Like, they've used the models before. I don't think they've ever put them on the Eagle Moss stand. What the heck is it called? I'm looking at it now. It's on the station. It's on the wall. It'll come to me. Not relay. It's not relay station. It's upside down. If we want to analyze this as well, like, does Picard really do that? Like, there's definitely a distance he'll keep, but I do think he still will get very friendly and even, like... Intimate's a weird word in the context, but... It kind of feels like how Patrick Stewart might have played Picard, or imagined Picard, but not exactly how Picard would have been, or even was. Like, again, think about Guinan. I thought, again, the woman from Insurrection that he has a relationship with. Like, there's so many people where... Like, Laris is the exception, but Beverly is also the exception. But the reason he doesn't go with Beverly is because she was his best friend's wife. Like, so Laris is the only exception where he's just, like, weirdly distant. I am, by the way, desperately holding my breath for monster number 2 in these subtitles. Everything has been monster number 1. I just, give me the actual explanation. Like, what is even, is that his dad or something? Is this just, so this fictional story is more interesting? Like, what's really happening here? By the way, that's Prisoner laughing. That is not monster number 2. That's a male laugh, but the prisoner's like his mom, right? Hey, is that monster number 2? That's probably monster number 2, but the subtitles hasn't identified this person yet. I'm sorry, a 9-year-old? What kind of 9-year-old that would own an EVA helmet wouldn't have understood that sentence? Unless the complaint was that, like, he's too young for zero gravity combat training. Hey, that's what I was thinking. Everyone in that room has an open mind, so she'd be in a good company. Oh, welcome home. Alex is here now. Oh, whoops.
Hello, chat.
Come on, subtitles, tell me who this is. Is this monster number 2? Monster number 1 growls. Wait, no, that's the different guy. Monster number 1 is the guy with horns. Who did these subtitles? Is that specific enough? Also, she got that fast. Like, the medbay and Helm are very far from each other. In sick bay. Alex.
Hey, yes, can I help you?
What are you doing?
Being annoying. It's tradition. If I'm changing while you're streaming, I just sing a random song in my gremlin voice. I have no pants. Nathan.
What?
Where are all my pants at?
I don't know.
I'm stealing
busy.
yours.
Well, I stole yours, so that's fine.
Well, that explains where my pants went.
I'm not wearing all your pants.
That explains where some of my pants went. Oh, nobody's with you today.
What?
Lonely.
According to YouTube, there's like the most people here today, but no one active. But every time someone's here, YouTube says there's no one. So, who knows?
Lonely, you are so lonely. You've got nobody.
They picked the boring episode to not show up to as well.
Lonely, forever lonely, and you were alone, watching a show alone.
They probably gave a reason why they couldn't beam Picard back to La Serena. But why couldn't they beam the medical equipment to this hospital and do exactly that so that it could then beam him to the La Serena?
La Serena, hi, La Serena.
I mean... Okay. Oh, well, there we go. Maybe that's where they got their suits from. Where'd the energy come from? I don't know, but... Oh, good, because I was wondering why the last thing that Borg code injected was a recording of what happened. Was that his ready room? Was that the E? I haven't seen the E ready room in ages. Wait, it is a white door. How come the white door moves around every time? Maybe all the doors are white. Hey, Bob, how do we write a line to reveal that, like, he's a dad? How about a fact that, he has hair, and Picard doesn't have hair? I'm glad he understands. Could we get context? There we go. The only bit of the episode that matters, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the story might have worked if it was 200 or 300 years before it takes place. Like, why did this never come up between Picard and his dad, or even like his brother? It's kind of weird. I was thinking a lot today. How come, like, it feels weird that this would have never come up in any way in any Next Generation episode where, like, there were fathers involved, there were Picard being a fatherly figure, there was any vague reference where you might be like, oh, yeah, you know, my dad was a dick. Like, you know, oh, okay, let's go. I think this is the bit I don't know. But also, like, I talked a lot in my review how it's like she wouldn't accept, like, any help, then force it. Like, it implies a society where, Picard's dad couldn't talk to Picard about what was happening to his mother. It implies that his mother wouldn't want help, a society where his mother wouldn't want help. Even when she has full capacity of her mind. It implies a society where they just go, yeah, all right. You know, I guess we won't force the treatment that you obviously need and I believe you need, and I believe it's the only thing that could save your life. And just a lot of, yeah, like, it's just implies all the taboo and whatever around mental health is still there in 200-300 years. So this isn't the context they should have done this story in. Why is Picard like a father to Rios, though? Like, really thinking about it, what is Picard... What have they even done together, and then what has Picard done? He's an inspiration, perhaps, but, like, there's no caregiving there, or, like, parentalness in that. I love how I think there were 4 subtitles that said in Spanish. I don't know, they were weirdly separated. She's gonna drop, yep, there we go. He's gonna put his hands in the replicator. And then he's not gonna have hands. It's a sad tale, but happens far too often. I don't know, a Borg Queen with a slice of Gerati doesn't sound like, you know, the worst thing that could happen. That sounds much better than Gerati with a slice of a Borg Queen. Which is weird if you think about it. Isn't this, like, Patrick Stewart's wife or something, by the way? I think I remember reading that somewhere. I'm curious as well, it might get answered, but, like, what the Borg Queen's motivations are here. Not, like, specifically breaking this window, but, like, does she want a hive? And if she does, why isn't she getting one? Like, maybe she's waiting and gaining her strength, but then why'd she do this? Did she need a demonstration? Why didn't she go in an alley and do something? Like, you know. Yeah, she just watched, like, you know, the first kind person in her life get hit by a car. I bet she's quiet. It's such a shame. That would have so much... I feel like so much of the weight is gone when, like, Renee watched Picard get hit by a car. But, you see, it was, like, just kind of sidelined to the story, which is why I think people are unsatisfied by it. I hope he does. I don't know, maybe like a teacher, I guess. Who would you rather is your teacher? Like a trained teacher or Hitler? You know, just for example. Yeah, that was your mistake. It's kind of weird that... I mean, you'd still check with Guinan, but it's weird to just think that, like, oh, Guinan could do that. I also still find it real weird that they don't even try, like, hey, Q! Oh, look, he's there, because he's omnipotent. I know he's not omnipotent, but Picard doesn't know Q's current state. Like, he would... A normal Q would probably be, like, listening in on Picard. Oh god, this story. That makes no sense. Because Guinan ran a bar, I guess, is the reason. Yeah, that I just have. I specifically have this bottle. It's actually remarkable. It's not like my ancient yada yada ancestor, whatever, was the queen of the Guinans, Illyrians, which still would have been problematic, but there's not even a reason she has this specific bottle. She just does. And then, even if you accept all that, like, does it just summon the nearest Q? Did, like, all the Q get notified and be like, yo, Q, you got this? He's like, yeah, I'll be there in 20. Like, you know, how they know it was gonna summon the right Q? Like, is she specifically going after that Q? Because how does she know who he is? And who's doing all this, actually, if you think about it? Because it's not Q. But yeah, it's also weird that, like, this is some sort of peace treaty that no other Q showed up. It's like, well, that guy was a lazy piece of shit. I guess I'm here now. I have to deal with this. Did she have to watch? I don't know. I didn't see a rush, but okay. So if all she wanted was a rush, why break the wind? She could have gone to like an LA strip club for a rush if she wanted. Again, like what she did is brought attention to herself, you know. I guess that's my big problem, is surely the queen could have done something smarter. I guess that just happens a lot as well. But I do kind of like that touch of the same hand gesture, but... I just don't see any Guinan in this performance, this actress, this anything. Which again, it's weird no one else showed up. Because, yeah, every sci-fi's got to reference sci-fi in one way or another. I never like it. Like... It's somewhat irrational, but I will say I don't think it's irrational to hate that every main character in sci-fi hates sci-fi. Does he mean inspirational? He aspires to science? That's kind of weird. He didn't say science fiction is aspirational. He said science is aspirational, which is really weird. Agent 1. Agent 2, hey, they're not afraid of number 2s. Agent 3, there we go. Wait, did she just have her shotgun on the... Oh, okay, maybe it is, like, under the bar a bit. That done? Yeah, we're done. Yeah. I agree with my old review in every way, except for the bit about I'm so clever moments, because I didn't see a single, oh, I'm so clever moment. Yeah, that one was just dull. I think one of the big reasons I find it personally dull is it's so much of that, analogy, symbolic, what's actually happening, it doesn't matter because none of it is happening, or maybe some of it, but You have no way of knowing how, and so just clock out for 30 minutes, because you're not going to get anything out of this. That's preference. But I also think everything outside of that part, in the real world, not a lot happened. And yeah, that's a minority of the episode, but this isn't the first time we've said that. It was just dull, and yeah, the reason I said in the description it's the reviewer's worst nightmare is because you can review a good episode, you can review a bad episode, you can't review a dull episode because you're like, well, that happened. So I am going to get us set up for episode 8. But there is going to be a brief intermission as I get some more water. People can do whatever. Hang on, let us... no, that's a display capture. Get the episode 8 instructions up. Okay. This is episode 8 that I just opened, isn't it? Yeah? Yes, this is episode 8. Cool. Comment. Come on. So I am going to get us some nice engine effects, and we are going to have an intermission. Where did I put those engine sound effects? It's a good thing I made a playlist with engine sound effects. And I will see you in a few minutes. I'm back. Not quite the end of the intermission yet. But I did remember, between, I was gonna say between the last time I streamed and now, that is not entirely true. Between, like, the end of my last live review, Prodigy, and these watch-throughs, I turned on super chats for the channel. I think that's what they're called when it's a live stream, which is the chat, but you pay for it. Like the donation thing. But I don't actually have a way of checking if those are there. So if no one's active, but if you see like a button or something, I don't know, there's like a super chat button, I don't know how it works. If you could just let me know that's there, that would be great. Because I don't think, I've got a chat here, but I don't think, oh, there's how you start a poll. How do I start a QA? Surely you can just ask the questions. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. I obviously can't super chat myself. I mean, I say that's obvious. You can make bit donations on Twitch to yourself, which is weird because if you do it, you buy bits with the Turkish currency and then donate them in US dollars, you gain more money than you put in. And so you could earn infinite money off of buying Twitch bits and donating them to yourselves. I wouldn't recommend that, because you might find yourself in some sort of legal trouble. I think it's legal, but, like, you probably shouldn't do it. So maybe YouTube realized, hey, we probably shouldn't let people... I mean, if you wanted to get around it, you just make a second account and give yourself infinite money. I don't know if YouTube has that. But, what is episode 8? Mercy? That's the one that I remember kind of a lot what happens in it. I don't know how we're going to discuss Q stuff with Alex here. Picard's a difficult one. But there's other stuff. I vaguely remember the plots, but yeah, I had known... Oh, someone came into engineering in the background track. I know, a lot of when I was watching this, I was just done. I knew that I wasn't doing any more of these reviews, for Picard, and I was like, yeah, this is the last one. I was probably the Q stuff, actually, that might have been the final, like, yeah, I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm loving this background hum. Love the background engine hums. Shall we get going? So for the video now, and this is actually probably weird, because this is the first one that's going to go in the proper reviews playlist. Yeah, as you saw in the last video, if you're watching those from that series, I stopped doing reviews. But later on, a few months later, I came around to do these live watch-throughs in prep for Season 3. And so that's going to retroactively kind of include reviews for episodes 9 and 10 and 8, which I didn't really review. I, basically just said I was going to stop reviewing. So what we're going to do now is it's just going to be me, my audio. I cannot stream the audio of Picard. Actually, I should turn off these background engine hums that are there for the stream. Yeah, I can't just stream an episode of a major television show, nor can I do the audio. So we're going to do a countdown, a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Everyone is going to have their own copy of Season 2, Episode 8 of Star Trek Picard, Mercy. And on go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, we're all going to hit the play button. And yeah, then you'll just get my audio track. Ooh, let me mute system output. And you'll have an audio track of me over the episode. So yeah, let's just get going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I always feel like that's not perfect, but I'm literally looking at a timer. Like, am I saying the numbers at different speeds or whatever? I feel like it speeds up as we get closer. But it is perfect time within a few milliseconds. Oh, and if you have trouble streaming me and Picard, I don't know why, actually, thinking about it, because it's basically the same image every time. Just change my resolution to, 144p, or whatever the lowest is, because you don't need to watch me. You just need to listen to me. Oh, I should mark about 56 minutes for the video, when this started. Episode 8 starts. Episode 8 starts. can't wait for something to happen for me to react to. It's previously ons. What do you want me to say?
During the previously ons, I can always make up stuff that's
they're
happening.
They're done. No previously ons.
No, previously on Star Trek, we're running through the woods.
Don't spoil things. This is
there's
Picard.
A flashlight.
You can't watch Picard.
A bold of you to assume I'll remember. And there looks what looks like young Spock. And there's blood. I think a murder scene's happening.
You can't watch. This is Picard.
And somebody's wearing
Spoilers.
a very colorful cardigan I want.
It is a nice cardigan, actually.
And we're in a police
This
investigation.
is not the previous.
Is this?
Look, I've already missed it. I was gonna say, remember when I used to think that kid was like that guy from Future Past, whatever, in Voyager? But now we're past that scene.
Is this NCSI Star Trek?
It's Picard. It's the adult drama. Don't watch Picard. Don't taint yourself with Picard before Next Generation. You gotta finish all that stuff.
This looks like NCIS Picard. Like it's just the
Yep.
Star Trek version of NCIS.
No, that's Section 31, but that's not out yet.
Where's Jeff Rowe?
Jeff Rowe?
Where's Abby?
I don't know these people.
They're from NCIS.
I figured. I put that together.
Where's Proby?
You're making that one up. That's
No,
like
that's
the
a
Tin
nickname
Dog.
they give one of the characters. Where's McGee? Where's the
Wait, hang on.
foreign chick
This
with the
this
accent?
guy, I mean, rightfully so, thinks that they're trying to sabotage the Europa mission. But like, if he thinks they're from aliens from space, like, surely they could just like shoot it, you know, halfway between Mars and Jupiter or whatever. Europa's a moon of Saturn, isn't it? No, Europa. God, I know this. It would have been nice, I think, for the show to acknowledge that the treatment of these aliens is better than how ICE treats Rios and everyone there.
Ice baby.
Just a little thing. I mean, I know this guy is, like, barely sort of in the FBI and all that junk, but, you know, still, you could have done something there. Why'd they change the music if they kept a lot of these, like, the two things splitting apart? Because the reason that was there is because that was the, like, not cloning, the whatever process, what's-his-face, Bruce Maddock invented, to make Soji and Daj. Boom, ba-doo, ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. Hey, it's those ruby and sapphire things. Remember from Prodigy that smashed together?
Ooh.
Oh wait, does it look like someone's face, this hourglass? No, not really. Not at all.
A little bit. It looks like an alien.
Well, there was someone in it, but it was something I saw in one of the other episodes.
I liked
thought I
how it
saw.
went from the Doctor Who wormhole thingy into an hourglass.
This wasn't Doctor Who, but that's okay.
It looked like the Doctor Who wormhole thingy.
It's about time travel this season. Picard is about time travel, and they botched the whole thing. Prodigy isn't about time travel, and they nailed it. Except Time Amok. We don't talk about Time Amok.
Isn't there
That a
a
TOS
character that
episode?
says that time travel is impossible, and that mean you
Yeah.
had a disagreement
To
about
Paul,
this?
I mentioned that quote. The Vulcan Science Directorate has concluded that time travel is impossible.
When we literally saw time travel happen in one of the previous...
Yeah, but it's a prequel series. I don't think I've ever seen a revolving door in the 24th century. I probably have, and I'm not thinking of it, but Like, I feel Cisco's might have had one.
Is that a 21st century drugstore? That sounds like what Cisco's would be. It sounds like Costco. Like it'd be a Costco. Or a Walmart.
I mean, the more I think about it, this is exactly what Voyager's 7 of 9 would have been if she actually, like, was emotional. I don't like it, but this is exactly what she would have been like. I mean, it's kind of luck that this contact saw Picard, but I'm just thinking about her seeing Rios materialize like 15 feet off the ground, fall down onto like fire escapes, and then land on the sidewalk unconscious, and she just didn't report that. It's like, that one's going on TikTok. Oh, I've been there. You don't want that. You really don't. I don't think I got a big bruise on my hand thinking about it, but yeah. Most people tell you to stay hydrated is like life advice. For me, it's a warning. Dehydrated or may God have mercy. No, be hydrated or may God have mercy on your soul. I really wonder, like, what it would take to scrub a launch like this, because you can't just do it tomorrow. If it's like a mission to Europa, you can't just do it tomorrow or like another day, you know. It's probably direct, like there's not a bunch of interplanetary transfers, just because that would take too long for a manned mission, but you still can't just do it tomorrow. I would love to see those like actually floating in the real world, because this is a video.
Oh my gosh, they're playing VR.
They're what?
VR.
Oh wait, no, this is the past she's seeing. I mean, yeah, look at that monitor. 2024? Like, no, not that. She just knows that. Like, yeah, right. Oh wait, I thought we went over this. God, I forgot, yeah. Like, I thought we already knew this. What year is that? Is that what modern Apple looks like? Because that was like a phone from 20 years ago. Which is weird, because Apple's a lot of things, but it's not 20 years out of date in its UI. God, I mean, like, yeah, the whole thing is Raffi's a bad person because she manipulates. Like, sure, but Raffi's also just a shit person in every other regard. Like, all the reactions of Seven right now aren't manipulative. Like, her reactions to the thing, there's a lot of manipulative in here. But, like, it's just being an oblivious shithead that, like, the 24th century wouldn't have produced. She can remember the smell of stabilizing metals. Do you think she wore those combat boots to the, like, ball? Or did she find those later? I don't know which I would prefer. Oh, this is why he realized. Okay. I'm like, you're telling me you remember reading about a standard raid on like that clinic that gets raided all the time, but no. This guy actually wrote. Okay, this ICE officer was actually absurdly dedicated. I watched him listen to this. He didn't write this. He memorized that statement, wrote it down in his report. Well, they'll open it up and they'll see it says, like, made in Perth or something, and they're like, oh, this is from Earth. Then again, it might not be from Earth, actually, Federate. Could say, like, made in Utopia Planitia. What was that sound? That was like a TNG replicator or something there. Oh, too old. That was older than it should have been. I don't know. Also, that's not 4 cakes. It's 4 slices of cake. Then again, it is 4 different types of cake. See, why is the replicator so big? It's like 4 separate replicators. It's kind of weird. I really hate conversations like this where they're saying it like they're alone and someone else is right there. There's no walls, there are no doors. You may say, what makes me think they think they're alone? The fact that she just said ass and she said goddamn earlier this episode and told her kid she was going to use bad words. She just said shitty. There's another one. I was gonna say, what if he doesn't have anything like that? But you know what? I mean, I guess this is kind of a relationship test. It's like, I don't have anything like that. It's like, yeah, okay, bye. I've only known you for like a day. It's not like I'm attached to this. I wouldn't like abandon my clinic, for example. No way, you only had like half a cake. Where'd Guinan go? I know this guy's only got the one room.
Why are you indicating with chopsticks?
Well, because I'm not interested in this. I don't know about eons, like the Vulcans did the same by this time. You know, I've just realized none of these evil timelines ever invent time travel. Because surely they'd have, like, some sort of anti-temporal police who would ensure that their timeline exists. Just a thought. Wait, he was able to follow? Maybe there was a paper trail, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's weird. It didn't even say what was behind Q and Guinan. It's like, it's in the future. I suppose I have to give Star Trek credit that sci-fi, and in particular the ones I like a lot, Doctor Who and Picard, or Star Trek, Doctor Who in particular, are very big on the, like, life has meaning because it ends. You know, it's eternal life is just like whole bad, you know, immortality, even just extended lifespan, which is a whole bunch of BS, but this is the first one I can think of that's like, you know what, actually, it turns out dying doesn't give any meaning. It just sucks. I don't want to do it. What was he gonna do? That's a point. What was Q's original plan? Like, what was he gonna do? Because we've just learned the entire thing is derailed. Like, you know, Picard wasn't supposed to go to the past, which does mean that Q changed it and now is also trying to actively change it after changing it to stop Picard, but Picard hasn't done anything yet. So yes, it's a big wibbly wobbly doesn't really work. But not wibbly wobbly. Wibbly wobbly is like a fun way of describing Doctor Who. This is just like a bunch of tangled up chords. Tangly wangly. All the P's. All the D's. All the R's. Still don't know this woman's name. Hey, where do the subtitles go? There's a Kori in ancient Greek mythology. And that's deeply troubling for some reason. I guess that's the troublesome part. But what's that even supposed to mean? Like, I think I know what he means, but in this context, like... I mean, he's supposed to be crazy, but, like... He's also supposed to be a genius. Wait, so she could just go out in the cloudiness? I know it's LA, but... Oh, okay. She's already taken it. He's got a good point, actually. What would, like, this America do with Corey? I feel like it's the sort of lock him up and dissect her approach, but, I don't think she'd care, but it's an interesting thought. Was it a Girardi quality when she killed her last boyfriend? Mercy. They say alien-induced, insanity. I firmly disagree. That's not what happened. That's not what she should have been mad about thinking about it, but, you know, it's also true, yeah. Was Raffi a security officer before she was first officer? She wasn't yellow. I've just realized Vashti is the start of Vashti Narada, isn't it? The Doctor Who shadow monsters. Maybe coincidence, but you know, you also have stuff like To Planet Hoth in Star Trek, and other ones, other way around, I don't remember. Gosh, she's even more manipulative and horrible on the second watch through of this scene. Are we supposed to like Raffi? If we're not, why is she in the show and in, like, season 3? Why is Raffi? That's the real question. I get her function in season 3, but, like, what's her function in seasons 2 and, God, especially 3? Like, I disagree with her in season 1, but I get her function, you know. Is her function here to, like, serve her own existence? I guess not everyone needs a narrative function, but it's just, I don't like the character at all. Maybe 300... Well, I still wouldn't like her if she was, like, from this 21st century, but I wouldn't have the same problems. What does that even mean in this context? I've asked that a lot this episode. Oh yeah, and this can just... I remember the Fuck Yeah Doctor Who podcast I mentioned the other day. I can't remember their speculation. I really agree that there must have been some sort of rewrite or, like, change where if this was supposed to be Q or somewhere else. But, like... Yeah, well, like, I mentioned before, Guinan disappeared from the scene, but with no explanation. Like, she had to have had something else. But they still needed a way for Picard to know what was happening to Q. So it's just that they gave Guinan this weird power because Picard needed this information from a weird rewrite. And it was, they kind of speculated that maybe Q and Picard were supposed to have that scene we saw with Q and Guinan. But maybe that got pushed back to one of the episodes I haven't seen. Because I know they have a big scene together, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. I know there were Vulcans on Earth in this time period, like, already studying us, but I'm thinking, like, in close proximity to all the others, the Watcher and Guinan and yada yada, a lot of which, like, independently has been, actually all of it has been in Star Trek at other times. All of it together right here, right now, and like this, especially with the other tones and stuff, and how current this feels, being set in 2024, really makes Picard feel like, as I said before, some sort of Men in Black, the aliens are everywhere, we just don't know yet, kind of Earth, that just kind of guts First Contact a bit for me. Adding on top of that, the fact that Renee thought this life form was sentient, and that's why she brought it home. Like, oh, I guess First Contact wasn't even First Contact. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm more mellow about it now. I mean, I don't have a problem, especially the Vulcans. Like, that's firmly... The Vulcans were here, but, they do them well. They are pretty, like, Enterprise era. The technology is very Enterprise era. Very well done for the Vulcans, but... It's I think it's weird. It's off-putting. I want to say that they don't look quite right. I think I'm watching... It's that I'm seeing things that are so good Enterprise Vulcans. Like, they're so Enterprise, but they're in modern HD, in, like, Picard resolution, and it looks wrong. It's like the Doctor Who trailers with David Tennant and Donna Noble. They look wrong because they're in such high-quality footage and, like, post-production. And those two weren't even in HD. They were in standard. I kind of like the concept of the misinterpreting the Vulcan mind melds. I don't know if it's done the best here, but I like the concept. Yeah, it did have 4 fingers. Picard doesn't know how that mind meld works. I kind of like the idea that this makes sense, but what if this particular guy was like Vulcan Hitler? You know, he had escaped, he was hiding on Earth, he was actually going to rip this guy's head off. Just about, yeah. 25. Big 5. Oh. I know, but whatever. I don't know about the entire galaxy. Like, the Dominion would really love the Confederation to exist. So would the Borg, I'd imagine. And, like, the people we haven't met. Would the Confederation have conquered Ferenginar? I guess we did see a Ferengi skull. Why is the transporter offline? They beamed in here. Like it was in diagnostic mode. What happened? They beamed in there. But now Guinan's allowed back in the same room. I guess if she can astral project, why not? Like, you're gonna live through World War III now. I see it in your eyes. You know, aliens always talk about how wonderful that is in humanity. Thinking about it, we're also, like, the only species that's this bad kind of thing. Like, you know, the Ferengi go off about how, like, you know, we poisoned our own planet with nuclear bombs and whatnot. It's, like, not even they're as greedy. It's interesting no one ever connects that, like, you know... How do you authorize a raid? How can time not be what you think it is if the only thing you think about time is that it's not what you think it is? I guess that would be if time is exactly what you think it is, which is to say, not what you think it is. So, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Pretty sure that makes sense. In a nonsensical way, of course. How's there still so much of this episode left? That's what I keep thinking, honestly. Not that you'll remember any of this, of course. Because we haven't met before, which means you're not the you. We've been over this. I like that line, though. How fast does she want a sec? Hang on. This era will have, like, the SpaceX in low Earth satellite, low Earth orbit internet. We know they have SpaceX because they have Elon Musk. But, how much fast are you gonna get? Are you telling me that Earth uses, like, FTL communication for its just interplanetary communication? Because that's excessive. Or it's the computational power. Actually, that could be it. There's a question too. Did he lose the daughter before Picard went back in time? Because the reason Soji discovered what happened is Brent Spiner hit Picard with a car. Little detail, but... But didn't before. Is there really only one reason she'd want to take over the transporter? Only one? I can think of two. Get herself around and stop them from getting around. That's two reasons. Really, Guinan, you do want to get off-world for just a little bit, you know, just a few years. And then Bozeman. Go live in Bozeman. Bozeman's gonna be safe. Did he just call a general? Oh, wait. I think it's a private army, but I kind of wonder who he called up. Like, he just called some military general. Or, you know, if it was a private army, you'd probably call yourself a general. And then everyone else just kind of let this happen, you know. They were just like, yeah, all right. I've got time. I got nothing better to do with my biological and technological distinctiveness. Yeah. I I've clocked out a lot those past two. I don't even think this one was that bad, really. It's again, like, I guess I'm in a similar spot where it was the first time. I will finish, I'll point out, like 9 and 10. The whole point of this was to watch episodes 9 and 10. But, yeah, it's just not engaging me. It's... What happened between the end of episode 6 and the beginning of episode 9? So everything we've seen today. Picard had some symbolic-esque dream. We learned, like, the beginning of the story of his mom. That can't be it. Is that... Oh, Rios, this lady, who's on my screen, I guess had their first kiss. Their relationship went further. But I'm pretty sure that is the only... Those are the only two things that happened in the entirety of the past 2 hours. You may say, what about that whole scene with the detective? Whatever. That served no purpose. If you cut it, the story would be the same. That's not quite true. We learned what's happening to Q. There we go. But that was the only thing. If you cut that entire sequence with this detective, the entire thing from the FBI raid to getting set free, the only thing you lose is knowledge about what's happening to Q. The entire thing, it's not a bad filler, but it's filler, like similar to Rios and Ice. Like, there's a story there, but you can cut it, and the only thing that changes is Rios and this lady lose an interaction that wasn't really necessary. Because their relationship was always going to be horrifically rushed. I guess it's another conversation, but that's it. There was already a reason for him to go back to the clinic when Picard got hit by a car. Which, why did it comatose him when you think about it? Like, that's actually... He was fine when they got to the clinic, right? Well, I guess no, he did need some treatment before becoming stable, but that's weird. Anyway. Yeah, like, literally those three things are it. We learned a piece of information. They had a kiss. Like, they basically just were like, okay, yeah, I guess we both acknowledge we're in love now. And, like, the only big thing was with Picard and his mother, which we didn't even finish. It's... I don't know, like, it's different to the pacing issues Season 1 had, but there was, there's just, that was so little for 2 episodes. Girardi's being assimilated, but she was being assimilated before. I guess Girardi has now got, like, a little collective and joined with Soong. That is something else that happened. But that could have been an episode. Like everything I've just mentioned. Maybe a little on the longer side of an episode, but there's again the question that they already won. Like, they beat the main conflict. She's going on that rocket. Like, you know, she's got her steam. They've acknowledged this. She's probably already on the rocket, knowing how these missions work, like launches in 19 hours. Sure, Q could do something else. They don't know he doesn't have his powers, but, like the Picard and crew. But there's only so much I think he can do. But they're not trying to stop Q. I guess maybe Picard and Guinan are finding her, but Girardi's their focus. Like, they had to introduce a whole new threat of the Borg Queen in 21st century Earth, because they just resolved their main series arc, is a side note with that 5-minute pep talk. That amazing 5-minute pep talk, but sidelined for setup for Girardi, the new thing. Like, is it that it lacks focus? Is it that it was doing too much? Is that it was just looking in the wrong places at the wrong time? I don't know, but it's lost me again. I mean, I'm less angry than I was when I first watched through over time, but it wasn't just that I was angry with what they were doing and the morality. It had also just lost me at a show. And I think I'm realizing more some of the reasons Picard was losing me at these 2 episodes after such a long streak of mediocrity at best in all the other episodes. But, you know, tomorrow we'll do episode 9. Next week we'll do 10. Then we'll get back to the cage. We'll do the cage, you know, that's... I mean, honestly, I don't remember the cage being, like, great. But, you know, first episode of Star Trek, the unaired pilot, there's interesting stuff in there. And, yeah, you know. I hope it gets better, not even just in, like, quality, but there's more I can kind of react to, say, because if you've been watching all of these, you've probably noticed, I'm not surprised that this is the one that no one was, like, the 2 active people that have been through a lot of the streams aren't really here. I'm sure they probably had other reasons, but no one showed up at the end this late. Like, yeah. The best part of this so far has been just spending like an hour talking with Ukrainian Scrimshaw yesterday about Doctor Who after the episode ended. And I'm literally rambling about nothing at this point. So I hope you enjoyed. We seem to have consistent viewership, even if it wasn't the most active. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I know, judging by the view counters, a lot of people are going and like taking a look at these after they get uploaded, not live, you know, but tomorrow's new stuff, you know, the first new review stuff from me for a while. I've never seen episode 9, I've never seen episode 10. I, broadly speaking, know what happens, but there's a few scenes, like, I haven't seen the scene between Q and Picard. I just know it exists. But, you know, I don't know what happens to Girardi. I don't know exactly how they make Elnor. I thought he was a hologram. Someone said the other day that he was a hallucination. So, like, maybe there's, you know, there's stuff I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. But, realizing more, like, writing problems. And I wonder, maybe they were too divided. Like, writing seasons 2 and 3 at the same time, filming them, producing them. Maybe it was so much, it must have been so much of a jumble and mess filming it, like, even more than normal where you'd go out of order, that maybe you couldn't see these. But the point is seeing, and this adds to what I'm about to say, seeing so many more, like, just writing problems as opposed to anything to do with the plot or the morality or anything is making my faith fall in season 3 quite a bit. Not that I had much faith anyway, but it's like maybe it could be different, you know, just because they're telling a different story. But now, like, are all our favorite characters gonna come back and not really do anything for 10 episodes? And even worse, like, with a lot of what we get, changes to these legacy characters, Guinan and Q, and even Patrick Stewart, sorry, Picard, like, if they're not bringing good to these, like, Worf's pacifism, honestly, that's, like, my one bit of hope for good in season 3, but, if they're not bringing anything, and if anything, they're just kind of dampening a bit of what was already there with these legacy characters, it's just gonna be like a sad goodbye to what I imagine most of these characters, if not all of them, are just never gonna show up again. And it'd be a shame if it was stuff like this. Like, maybe they do cameos. Like, I know Patrick Stewart is surprisingly open to coming back as Picard in other series. Just out of nowhere. He talked recently, like, this was supposed to be it, but hey, hopefully Star Trek Janeway does better. That's kind of my opinion. I'm sure we'll get it. I think if, Paramount can get Kate Mulgrew for Star Trek Janeway, they'll do it in a heartbeat. And if Kate Mulgrew isn't already down for it, I think they're getting more and more down for it as time goes on. So as long as they don't try and make the same, just, hey, let's do adult drama again. Picard team, you're on Star Trek Janeway now. It'll be good. But as long as, it's... Now, we're getting to the point now where they're going to start replacing shows. Something's got to replace Picard. Probably Section 31. Thematically, this just makes sense. You keep your darker, more adult drama show with Section 31. But as we get now closer to more shows being announced and these shows getting older, like, what are going to replace these other shows? Discovery is almost as old as Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager were when they ended. Not season count, but in terms of pure years. Like, how many more, even if it's just 3 more seasons of Discovery, like 4 or 5 years from now, like, that is a ways away, I guess, but, like, what's replacing these series is becoming a more interesting question, and what are they going to feel like? Because we're all, I think, with the exception of maybe Strange New Worlds, we're very comfortable in what these shows are, or knowing what they are, what their feels are, what they're going to do, the kind of stories they're going to tell, or at least what they're going to be like. But, like, with Academy, we can kind of figure, but you could still, there's so many little ways. Like, is it optimistic? Is it dystopian? Is it High School Musical? But something like Star Trek Janeway is like, where the hell is that could be anything. And when we say Star Trek Janeway, I think we, of course, bring a lot of connotations with Picard. It's the same format, Star Trek Janeway, Star Trek Picard. But who knows? It's hard to imagine Kate Mulgrew in some depressing dystopia, but I probably would have said the same about Picard a few years ago. I'm going to wrap it up, though. As I see, we have 2 concurrent viewers now. I don't know. You think it'd be so easy to count the current viewership, but YouTube just never manages to do it. I'm just checking something. Sorry. There we go. I had like a sudden realization, like as someone was still watching my ramble outro, that maybe people have been here and chatting, but for some reason I can't see it. It doesn't look like that's the case. So I guess then I will wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow at noon. Not the 4 or 5, the normal noon PTST time. What's that? Let's see, 12:30, so 18 hours? 17 and a half, 17:29 hours. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.